Confident and masculine, I step into the stadium. Eyes wide, time flies, life like palladium. Value in the moments that be fleeting in our face and then they gone. Just before you reach your goal, they call you back home. Alone on the inside. You don't have to be incarcerated to do time. You can be impacted by the system on both the inside and the outside. That's why we made Tapped In, a magazine by, for, and about system-impacted individuals. It aims to help those doing time by providing a link between people on both sides of the bars. In-depth articles and stunning artwork emphasizes personal power through entrepreneurship and helps prepare returning citizens for successful reentry. So get Tapped In, the magazine by, for, and about returning citizens. Get your copy today at www.returningcitizensasoc.org. Tapped In Magazine. Hey, what's good? Y'all know what time it is. It is time to focus, LBK. This is Robert Jenkins coming to you with episode 42 of the Focus LBK show. This is the show that's all about LBK, what's going on out and about, moving around town, moving and grooving. We got a good show for y'all today. The first thing that we kind of want to get into is our sponsor for today. Today's sponsor is the Returning Citizens Association, and we just want to let y'all know that they magazine, Tapped In, is on stands right now, so to speak. I don't know if it's on newsstands, but it's definitely on sale, and you can get it at blurb.com. But just look down here in the show notes, and we got a link to it right there. We also got the commercial produced by LBK Video Solutions. Yours truly, my company there, got that little commercial for Tapped In magazine, and man, we urge y'all to peep that out. It is a dope magazine. That brother Ricky Gaines and RCA, his organization, the Returning Citizens Association, they did an exquisite job on this piece, on this little magazine, man. It is awesome. And y'all should check it out, because, you know what I'm saying, he's a local boy now. He ain't from Lubbock, but it ain't where you from, it's where you at. He ain't from Lubbock, but he in Lubbock. You know what I'm saying? He at Lubbock. So check it out, man. It's a real good magazine. It's got good articles, got some poetry. It's got returning citizens, personal stories and stuff like that. If y'all ain't aware, a returning citizen is someone who has served time in prison and is now outside of the penal system and reintegrating successfully into society. That's a returning citizen. So Returning Citizens Association, Returning Citizens ASOC.org is sponsor of the show today. Get that Tapped In magazine. Get tapped in with them. See, the magazine, the whole point of it is to bridge the gap between those that are inside prison and those that are on the outside, because you could be system impacted and you don't even have to be in prison. You could be impacted by the system just because one of your family members or loved ones or friends or whatever is behind bars. That makes you system impacted. So this is not just for people who have been to prison, who are in prison or just got out. It's for anybody who's ever been impacted by the system. Anyway, get your copy. I think he say it's a little over $20 each, but it's a quarterly magazine. So you get a big, thick book with a lot of pictures, a lot of stories, a lot of poems, a lot of exercises and anger management deals and stuff like that. It's a big, thick, it's a nice, chunky little magazine. You know what I'm saying? So get your copy on stands today. Now, we talking about what's going on, LBK. This is episode 42, is automatic draft registration a sign of impending World War III? We're going to get to that later in the show. Got some disturbing stuff, but before we do, I want to let you know that the Cap Rock Jazz Festival is coming up. Y'all know it's coming up on July 13th. Man, yeah. And it's going to be at 3301. Here I go with that old man stuff again. Let me make this picture bigger right here. July 13th, 2024, the Cap Rock Jazz Festival featuring Tom Braxton, Rebecca Jade, vocalist, and Roberto Petruccia, guitarist. It's going to happen at the Texas Tech Museum, the Helen DeWitt Jones Auditorium. That's over on 4th Street. Y'all know where it's at. 3301 4th Street. That's the Cap Rock Jazz Festival happening July 13th, starting at 7 o'clock at the concert. You can get a table for $700. You can get an individual concert and a dinner, which starts at 5 for $100. 7 p.m. you can get the concert for $75 and the table $700. I think I already said that. Check them out at www.caprockjazz.org. Anyway, y'all get out there and see that. Now here's the thing. What's happening is we got 2 dope events happening on the same day. So we got the kids fishing derby. Notice we said kids fishing derby coming up on the 13th as well, put on by the 100 Black Men of West Texas. And that's going to be at May Simmons. And it says spend the day with our community. Let me make this bigger. Saturday, July 13th, 2024, May Simmons Park, MLK and Canyon Lake Drive. It's going to start at 7 a.m. and run to 2 p.m. Sponsored again by the 100 Black Men of West Texas and the Texas Game Warden Association. Shout out to Scotty Scott. I think he was on the committee putting that together. Now, that's a worthwhile event there. Hope y'all get out to see it. They making it hard on a brother because they got them 2 events on the same day. And man, you can only slang so many cameras in a day. I don't know if I'm going to be able to be at both of them. You know what I'm saying? But that's okay because we did the Cap Rock Jazz Festival last year. So maybe we don't have to necessarily cover it this year. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, moving on. Out and about. Today, Mr. Nugent and I had a great time out at the range. And I ain't talking about the golf putting range. You know what part of the country you in when depending on how people interpret the word range. When I was up on the East Coast, up in D.C. and Baltimore and really Northern Virginia outside D.C., if you say I was going to the range, cats thought you meant the putting range, the golf range. No, I ain't talking about no golf range. I'm talking about the shooting range. That's where we be at. That's the range we be on. Home on the range. You know what I'm saying? The open range. That's where we be at, the shooting range. And we was out there today, me and Mr. Nugent, with James Major, who is a real smooth instructor, man. This is our first class we took with him. Just went out there to get a taste of things, and it was real cool, man. He put us through our paces one by one. He wasn't too serious. He just like having fun. That's that Single Life by Cameo. Y'all, I'm sorry. I shouldn't sing like that because I sound so good. I'm going to make y'all fall in love. Nah, probably not. Make y'all tune out. But anyway, we was out there on the range with James Major. M-FFIST.com is the website. That's M-FFIST.com. And it's right there down there in the show notes. Man, he took us through our paces, man. We did some timed drills. This is my first time ever having a timer put on me. So he's standing behind you with a timer like beep, and you got to go and do a certain drill in a certain amount of time. You're trying to go as fast as possible, but at the same time, be safe and accurate. You know what I'm saying? And matter of fact, that's one of the things he was telling me, especially when we were shooting the AR-15. He was like, man, you all your shots are good. You're on target, but I want you to push this drill. Do it faster. You can go faster than that. So I was like, all right. So I did. And you go faster, you start getting a little less accurate, but that's part of growing. The whole point is to get accurate and fast. And in the shooting world, they say slow is fast. They say smooth is slow. What's the how it go? Smooth. Slow is smooth. Smooth is fast. Therefore, slow is fast. That's some gun range wisdom right there. It's true. Slow means you're going smooth. If you go slow, you'll be smooth with it. Smooth means you're going to be fast with it. So therefore, going slow actually will eventually help you start going fast. Slow is fast. That's what we was kind of working on today. We did a handgun and AR-15, carbine, rifle. Some people call it a rifle. It's technically a carbine, according to my understanding. But anyway, we was out there, man. We had a real good time. It was a little bit hot, but that's good. That's what it's supposed to be. But it ain't supposed to be, what's that? The winter soldier. You got to be there in the winter, spring, summer, fall. We had a good time out there, out at 41 Lead Farm at that. And I think to me, man, I think that's a better range. Because I used to go to the Lubbock Shooting Complex, I think it's called. I'm not sure I like that range as much. The more of the range that I'm more accustomed to, where you get to be on your own a little bit and move and groove. This was over at 41 Lead Farm, and it's out there on 87 South. Go 87 South, then bust a right on 41. Go down to 41 Lead Farm. But anyway, out there today, man, out and about. Check this video out. My son, Mr. Nugent, took a pretty interesting little video showing me getting my move and groove on, getting my AR-15 on. It's pretty cool. Like I said, it was a real good time. If y'all are thinking about, if you want to do some firearms training, if you want to get your concealed carry training, if you want to learn some other combat skills, combat critical skills like self-aid, buddy care, and all that kind of stuff, I think my man James Major can really hook you up with all of that training. And what I like about him is his prices are reasonable. He's a very laid back, he's got a lot of military on him, and if you're military, you recognize that right off the bat. A little military camaraderie, little poking fun at the other services, but good instructor. He's patient, and boy can shoot. I was boy, you do not want to get in a gunfight with this cat. I'm just saying that. That's all I'm gonna say. I was impressed with his shooting skills, and if the cat gonna be trying to teach you how to shoot, he got to have some shooting skills himself. This brother definitely does. So anyway, hit him up at M-FFIST.com if you want to get out there, get some inexpensive or some reasonably priced training from a cat that trains you well and that knows what he's doing and what he's talking about. Check him out at M-FFIST.com. But that's what we was doing out and about. And it's kind of ironic because this leads into our down the rabbit hole, down the prairie dog hole section of this show right here, the opinion piece. And you notice the show was called, "Is Automatic Draft Registration a Sign of Impending World War III?" Yes, they are apparently, it looks like to me, the U.S. government is trying to bring the draft back. So we've always had to register for selective service, right? You register to be drafted in case the military needs manpower. Well, it was voluntary. You kind of register for the draft, and you were supposed to do it yourself. After the Vietnam era, they ended the draft. The draft was hugely unpopular, and for good reason, because in real terms, real talk here, ladies and gentlemen, being drafted into the military is essentially slavery. It's the same thing as slavery. Some people think that's going too far, but think carefully about it. What is slavery? Don't think about slavery in terms of race. Think about slavery in terms of forced labor, forcing you to use your body to do something you don't want to do. Well, if you don't want to go to war and they force you to sign up for it and force you to be in the military, you're a slave army. That's why they ended the draft, because there's no other way to really define it. You're a slave army, people that don't want to be there. So we supposedly nowadays have a all volunteer professional fighting force, which is people that volunteer, that raise their right hand and say, "I, Robert Jenkins, do solemnly pledge to defend the Constitution of the United States from all enemies, foreign and domestic," and all the rest of it. So all volunteer force. That's fine, as well and good. That gives people, really what it does, it gives young people a chance to get some training and get some skills and find themselves and become a better person, and to contribute some time and energy to something bigger than themselves. It's essentially what the military is for. It's a step ladder in society. Teach you some skills and trades and stuff like that. That's fine if you volunteer for it. Matter of fact, I'd say it used to be a fairly worthy cause. I'm not sure nowadays what it is. I'm a retired vet. I'm retired. I did my 20 plus years, and I feel like I can say what I want to say about it because I served honorably, did what I was supposed to do. And the simple fact is, if they are planning on bringing back the draft, they are planning on reinstituting a form of slavery that I totally and wholeheartedly disagree with. It's one thing if you want to raise your hand and say, bada bada boom, send me where you want to send me, let me do what you want to do or what you want me to do. That's fine. But it ain't fine if they gon' told you to sign up and make you go to war. Because see, y'all people out there that was supporting the Ukraine war, you got your yellow and blue flags and on your Facebook and on your Twitter and all that stuff. That's all fine, well and good if you ain't going to fight. The reason I'm totally and absolutely against war is because one of the things that my time in the military showed me is that a lesson that's been learned time and time again, over and over again. You get young men that get over in these pointless wars. Right now, Ukraine is a pointless war that we should not even be involved in. And I just say it straight up. I don't care what people can have different opinions than me, but I don't see how you can sit there and say Ukraine is a war worth fighting. Has nothing to do with us. It's a Russian issue, but our leadership has got us embroiled in this. Our leadership back in 2014 actually overthrew the democratically elected president of Ukraine and put in a CIA stooge. Forget the guy's name that they overthrew. Zelensky in there now. He clearly ain't nothing but a stooge doing what we tell him to do. There's no way he can whoop Russia. So all this is so I'm gonna start reading y'all some of the things that's going on. So this is just it's a setup to get us into World War III. When that's why they're reinstating the draft. See, a few weeks ago, before I even heard of this story about the draft apparently being reinstated, kind of on the sly, I got a letter in the mail. What Chuck D say? I got a letter from the government. The other day, I opened it and read it, and it said they were suckers trying to draft me for they war or whatever. Picture me giving a damn. I said never. For real. So I got a letter from the government the other day, and it was for my son, Mr. Nugent, and we had not already registered him for a selective service. We were about to. But we get a letter in the mail says, thank you for registering for selective services. Now, keep in mind, this is almost a month ago. So they automatically registered him for selective service. And then come to find out, I see all these different articles. Basically, the U.S. military has had its worst recruiting in decades. We don't have enough manpower to do what we need to do, they say. And what we need to do, apparently, is be ready for World War III with Russia. And antiwar.com, they have a lot of, I'm not going to get all deep in the quotes, but basically, NATO has exceeded its goal of placing 300,000 soldiers on standby for a potential war with Russia. Now that comes after we have had our lowest recruiting ever in the last several decades. The Netherlands and Denmark are supplying Kiev with F-16s and saying they can shoot inside of Russia. They can attack inside of Russia. That's a provocation. That's an act of war. So what I'm trying to paint, the picture I'm trying to paint for you here is our leadership has recklessly embroiled us in an overseas adventure that we did not need to be in, that has nothing to do with us. But they've done it at a time when recruitment is at its lowest level in decades. The Army is failing to meet its recruiting levels, Air Forces. And this is weird. The economy is bad, and usually that drives young people into the military. But now the economy is bad, and young people still ain't signing up for the military. They don't believe that. I don't think they believe in the cause no more. One of the things, again, that I learned in the military is we get to go in and get ground up in a meat grinder. Us regular folks whose daddy ain't senators and congressmen and presidents. We get to go in and get ground up while trying to just better ourselves and do something for ourselves in life. And you know what they get? The oligarchs, the rulers, the wealthy people in charge, the wealthy, powerful people in charge. They get the billions. Hunter Biden, them. Making billions of dollars, millions of dollars a month for nothing. Getting on boards for nothing, making millions of dollars. This is what they get. We not them. What's that t-shirt say? They not like us? I don't like that t-shirt because I feel like it's pointing in a direction that I don't agree with. But in this case, I will say they not like us. They not like us at all. They ain't like us because we get to go in the military trying to do something better for ourselves and get our legs blown off. We the ones get to go in the military and get burned over 85% of your body in an IED explosion. I remember one time I used to do in the military, I used to lead a volunteer effort where we was trying to get wounded warriors to ride horses as part of a therapeutic recovery service that we was doing. And I was meeting vets that were wounded in these pointless wars. And I looked at the one cat, formerly a big old, strong, strapping 6 foot, 220-pounder, muscular Army cat. I'm up at Walter Reed Hospital looking at him, laying in his hospital bed, no bigger than a skeleton. He's so gravely wounded. I learned that when you're gravely wounded like that and your body is healing itself, it basically just burns through calories. So he went from 6 foot plus, 220 plus, big, strong, strapping young man, laying in the bed looking like a skeleton. But a skeleton with an arm and 2 legs and 1 arm missing. And over what? You see how we withdrew from Afghanistan? You see that debacle? That's what we lost limbs for. I say we, I didn't lose limbs. I was blessed to do my service in intelligence, in the intel field. My service was with headphones in safe places, but some of our service was not in headphones in safe places. It was in harm's way. And for what? Is this Ukraine folly? Is this worth another generation of young men going over and getting their legs blew off and their bodies burnt up and maimed and their minds broken? It's worth that? You think it's worth that? If you think it's worth that, you go do it. When they institute this draft, what it looks like they about to reinstitute the draft, when they reinstitute the draft, you think Ukraine is so good? You got a flag in your bio and your name and stuff on Facebook and Twitter? You go. I bet you won't, will you? Of course you won't. The people that cheerlead all these pointless, useless wars never fight them. They never have no actual skin in the game. That's why they cheerlead it. And anybody these cats that cheerleaded, most of them ain't even been in a fight. Most of them haven't even ever thrown a punch in anger, much less been in a dangerous, life-threatening situation. Probably couldn't handle it. Yeah, that upsets me. That ticks me off. I was about to say something else. I'm trying to keep it family friendly, but yo, that right there, they reinstating the draft, that's slavery. That's forcing you to use your body to do something you don't want to do with it. That's forcing you to bend your labor to somebody else's job that you don't want to do. That's slavery, no matter how you slice it. And they talking about they done backdoor, look like they are backdoor reinstating the draft. And from what I understand, I think I saw they was trying to get women in it too. Women talking about everybody they want to be equal. Women ain't supposed to be in war. Women are one of the positive building forces of society, not the tear down society negative force. That's a perversion to me. So here we go, y'all. If this war stuff pop off, which it seemed like it will, because they just pushing and pushing over in Ukraine. Vladimir Putin, they done painted him as some kind of devil. But when you listen to the man, he sounds more reasonable than our leadership. And I don't care what you say about me for saying that. That's true. Our leadership talking about it's okay to strike in Russia using F-16s. And Vladimir Putin saying, man, that's a provocation. You're provoking us. Stop doing that. We shouldn't even be over there. What we doing over there? Anybody think we should be in Ukraine? Tell us what we doing over there. What are we doing? What is the point? What is the mission? What does victory look like? The only thing that we doing over there is recycling millions of dollars into the pockets of politicians and burning up a generation of they men over there, them Ukrainians and Russian. And now they trying to draft us over there. Look like they trying to reinstate the draft so we can go over there and get ate up in a meat grinder for nothing. It ain't gonna be for nothing. What if we got off? Name something positive that we have got off any of these wars that we've been in the last 20, 25 years. Name something. I can't. Hell, we didn't even get lower gas prices. Like that would be worth it. It wouldn't. We got nothing. All we got is mass migration of people fleeing these war zones, coming over into our countries, diluting our populace and our culture and making our inflation and the economy suffer and inflation rise. That's about the only thing I can think we got out of these wars. Oh, just inflation. You think inflation happens because businessmen are greedy? No, inflation happens because the Federal Reserve prints money for needless things like wars and welfare, which is, hey, wars are government. Wars are welfare for government. You know what I'm saying? When the Federal Reserve prints that money to pay for all this military adventurism, you get higher prices. Just another reason you have to say war. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Except for making politicians rich and destroying the minds and bodies of another generation of men. Like we ain't had enough of that. Anyway, man, I'm on my high horse. I'm gonna come down, but yo, they got me aggravated because I'm against slavery. I'm against any kind of involuntary draft system, which it looks like cause see what it is, if you looked at the NDA, the National Defense Authorization Act, every 2 years they have to pass a new National Defense Authorization Act. That basically pays for the military for every 2 years. And the reason they have to do that is because the founding fathers wrote into the Constitution and said there shall be no standing army in the United States. So technically they playing word games. We don't have a standing army. We have an army that's authorized for 2 years. But they automatically renew it every 2 years. So in fact, we have a standing army. Well, in this most recent NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act, they snuck a line in here. And as a matter of fact, I think I got it in here somewhere. Man, I thought I had it in here. Yeah, I do. Well, I don't have the actual line, but down here in the show notes, you can click on it and see I got a couple articles linked and you can read more about the situation, and it tells you what the line in the National Defense Authorization Act is. But basically there's a line item in there that reads like it authorizes the draft. Well, what it does is it authorizes involuntary registration for the draft. Automatic registration for the draft is what it does. So whereas you used to have to go and sign up, like I had to sign up for selective service, and they'll call you or send you a letter and say, hey, you haven't signed up for selective service. When you turned 18, you better sign up. It's a penalty if you don't, could go to jail. Now they ain't even asking you to sign up. You just automatically signed up. So in other words, that's why people are saying it looks like they backdoor getting ready to reinstate the draft, because they over here in Russia, over here in Ukraine, slapping the Russian bear in the face and stepping on Russia's toes for no reason. And again, all for what? What we gonna do? What we gonna get out of it? Not a goddamn thing. Nothing that we want. Kind of sets up the song for the week. What you bumping? They trying to get you automatically registered for the draft so they can backdoor sneak you in the military one of these days. My question is, what you gonna do for me? That's that Shaka Khan. That's what I was bumping today. I just can't. Man, I don't know how to. The things, the disgust I feel at this and the anger I feel at this is just. It's so deep that I can't really fully express. It's one thing if somebody is attacking your homeland or somebody is destabilizing the whole world and you got to step in and maybe try to stop it a little bit. And that's even questionable. As a historian, World War II was supposed to be the good war, but it wasn't. There is no good war. What is it good for? War, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Lubbock, I hate to leave y'all on a note of upset and discontent like that, but that's why we got this what you bumping down here. Bump that Shaka Khan. It'll make you feel a little better. While you're feeling better, think about what's going on and make some preparations, man. You got any extra food? You got any extra water? You got a boogie bag? Got any of that kind of stuff? I hope you do. We do. You know how to use a firearm? I hope you do. We do. I want y'all to know too. I want y'all to be in the same boat of being able to take care of yourself, or at least make some moves to try to be able to take care of yourself. Don't just sit there helpless at the mercy of your surroundings. That's the whole point of making a few little preparations like this. So anyway, we trying to take it out on a positive note. So I'm trying to keep that what you gonna do for me in my head. That's Shaka Khan. I'm trying to keep that in my mind. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, LBK, this has been the Focus LBK show. I want y'all to have a great week. Go into it with your head held high, your spirit right, and your mind right. Get that job done. Spend that quality time with your fam, and do. You know what I'm saying? Make it do what it do. And in the meantime, I'm going to bid you 2 digits, as in peace. Step into the stadium, eyes wide, time flies, life like palladium. Value in the moments that be fleeting in our face and then they gone. Just before you reach your goal, they call you back home. Alone on the